we can start off with anybody's questions if you've come with them. I know I didn't say it in the reminder, but I did have a little like pop-up demo to show you guys. It's not through MyLO. It would be using a third-party site, another vendor, but it's a free pop-up option in case anybody wanted to put one up maybe for end of year. But anybody have questions to start out with?
Well, I sent a note to the listserv, which I thought I was very pleased to see the listserv there, that it's something that can be very helpful to us. And I know we don't have a very lot of people here at this time, but I was wondering about, there's 1,100 something messages on the listserv right now going back to 2017. Many of them have to do with the office hours, and I'm wondering if there's any, there might be any interest in um, taking some of those down that we don't really care about anymore, or and or if there's a way that I can remove them from my view, that would be good too.
Okay, yes. Sorry about not getting back to that. I don't know if there's a way for you as a viewer or a member to be able to do it, but I've added that to my list because I will have to go through and just delete those on my end as a one of the admin.
Can I offer suggestions on ones that I think should be removed, or would that help or not?
I think I can go through the list. Yeah, I do appreciate you letting us know.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well, if nobody had any questions about like their website right now, I can go ahead with the pop-up
So I got it.
instruction. Yeah, go for it, Mike.
My son was here the other weekend. Well, I've been gone a month, so could pick a weekend. And I put in the chat because I was struggling with HTML, and he found this tutorial. So I put that link in the chat window in case anybody needs that.
Oh,
I think it's W3 School or something.
oh yes. W3 School is an awesome resource for HTML tutorials. If you're looking for, quick things to help you format even more your MyLO pages, that's great.
Yeah, well, as you know, sometimes you put your page together and it doesn't come out right, you're not sure, you can flip it over to HTML and maybe with a little help, you could probably figure out what's going on.
Right. Couple of tweaks in HTML
Yeah.
can usually do a good trick or two.
So anyway,
All right. Thank you,
that's
Mike.
it.
Thank you. Okay. I'll go ahead and show you guys. I'm only going to show one. There are, I don't know how many, but there have to be, I know there's definitely more than one, but many options that should be available for free pop-up widgets. I think we all know what I mean by pop-up, right? Like it would be another overlaid screen on top of your website the moment that a visitor hits any page of your website, maybe a specific page on your website. It depends on how you set it up. But then that pop-up can either be in the center of the screen or it can be in one of the corners. Um, and it just allows you to present some information, maybe a way to have like collect their email or you're having a donate link or something, whatever you want to have on that pop-up. The free option here that I'm going to show you guys does offer you, the flexibility to change up the pop-up how you want it to present that info. And then it also offers the visitor a way to click away from it. And then again, you can specify how persistent do you want that pop-up to be. So I'm showing you guys Elf site because it's actually one that I use on MyLO. Um, The search our videos is their YouTube gallery. And then if you've ever visited our FAQ page, it's another Elf site widget as well. Um, the one thing about the free use of Elf site is that it's always going to come with the watermark. It's not very obtrusive, but it is going to be there with essentially a link to Elf site. But I really like them because they're super easy to set up within Elf site, and then all it requires at the end is you know, getting the HTML code and plugging it into MyLO. So I actually had one started. Let me delete it so we can start fresh. I already have my account set up, but it should be pretty straightforward and easy to do that. And then once you come over to add a pop-up widget, and sorry, I probably am going a little quick. This is the list of widgets. And then once you find the one you want, you would click on it and then I think you say add or something. But since I already have it, it probably won't give me that option. So we'll create a widget and they have several templates to choose from. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. There we go. Okay. So again, there's options for in the center of the screen. We see this one off to the left. There were some options for the bottom right. There we go. Yeah, so all kinds of different locations, styles. Let's go ahead with this simple one off to the right. So I like to keep our brand standards handy, and then you probably have images already from MyLO that you might be able to choose from. So for this image section, we can use the image link, um, especially if you have images already on MyLO that you want to use. I would say that would be the easiest way to go about it. So if I go back to MyLO and manage files, I should be able to pull a link to an image rather easily. There we go. So let me click on the image, or I'm sorry, click on the image link, and then we copy this address. Or you can, click through it and then copy the address up here. Either way. The one thing we're looking for is that it has a dot JPEG or dot file extension ending, and this one does not have that period before the JPEG. So that's the key to knowing the difference if you are pulling the correct file image link or not. So let's go back. And since we have that image link copied, we should see it take over. Maybe I have to delete this one. Whoops. Oh, okay. Upload from URL. So same thing we did before. I pasted in that file URL from MyLO and perfect. It adds it right in. And then you can also copy that alt text from the image. So going back to that file page. I don't know if the alt image is required, but we always suggest it when you are, putting images anywhere online. And also, it, the step of knowing that you have permission to use the image is, already done through MyLO. If you're uploading something to MyLO, you have to, check the box to say that you have the permission to actually use that. If you're uploading them from elsewhere, just make sure to keep an eye on that. And then it looks like you can actually change the position. Oh, okay, no, this is just the way that the actual pop-up sits. You can further customize from there. You can limit it to only be mobile versus desktop. Right now with just this product, Elf Sight's pop-up option in the free plan, you can only have one pop-up. So, but if you had, the ability to create two different pop-ups, you could have different versions for each device type. So let's go back, and now I have the text. I'm going to keep it simple because I'm actually going to add another element so that there's a button. I haven't actually. Oh, perfect. It looks like they offer Lotto and Merriweather, which are our brand standard fonts. And then also if you have the purple and gold site, I believe those are the fonts that are used within that theme. So this would even better match your site. And we'll go back. And then here's where I want to add that element. Just a simple button will do for, asking them to join. Okay. Um, and then we redirect the URL to, whoops, too many buttons there. All right, and to the portal. Um, great. And then their default is to open it in a new tab. Um, okay, so we can further customize the color. Um, let's see, did I save it? My bookmark of brand standards. There we go. So I bookmarked this page because it has all three of the pages that I often frequent, when creating graphics and things. Um, our league's brand standards, Vote 411's brand standards, and then all the logo files for state and local league, and then general and Vote 411. Let me drop that in the chat in case anybody wants to keep a hold of that. And I just saw your message, Maddie. Sorry. Did you want me to put the link to Elf site? Awesome. Yes, let me do that. Um, let's actually just there we go. Okay, that should hopefully
If we bring
get
up
you there. Yeah.
um, well, a course or, if we bring this video up, will we see those comments?
You will not. But I will include them in the what is it called? The description.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the brand standards I wanted to bring up. I wanted to just pull the blue color or whichever. Again, if you are using a purple and gold site, there is a little blue in the purple and gold sites, but mainly it is the two purples and gold. Where is the hex? I think I've already passed it. Hmm. Oh, there we go. It was further down than I thought. Okay, so back to Elf Sites Untitled Pop-up, and we paste. All right. And then it looks like we can change the button text color, the corner radius to make it a little more rounded or not. Um, I think that matches our button style on MyLO. Full width, the button itself can be smaller or larger, and then we can change the button text font style as well. Not sure what outline. Okay, filled, or I'll leave it filled and then done. And then we could just keep adding if we had more that we wanted them to interact with. Maybe it was a button or a pop-up that had your donate and join. Whatever you want to remind them of. And then again, it's always an option for them to just close out of it. So now, oops, let me move this, um, our little pictures, because we just were changing the settings within the builder. And those are, the blocks that create the pop-up. Now we can um, actually change the layout of the pop-up. This is where you can change its position if you wanted to. It's kind of hard to see because it has a white background, and then this also has a white background here on Elf site. Um, Sorry, I'm kind of clicking around. So the first is modal, right in the middle. Left pane, right pane. Move this over. Left slide in, right how we had it. And then the top bar, that's where it was kind of hard to see the difference. And then bottom bar. The height is by content. I would recommend leaving it as that because that just means the layout will resize to based on the size of the device that it's being viewed on. You can further customize, and then the close button is by default on. If you did want it to just remain persistent, you can shut that off, but we'll go back. And then the last part is the settings. This is where we can change the display settings and the triggers if we wanted it to be um, every single time, or maybe shutting it down after they've already seen it. Um, you can have it show up for a person after a certain amount of time, like a week after they've already seen it and closed it. You can limit it to certain pages or say that certain pages on your website shouldn't receive it. And I think it's just a matter of adding. You add a URL, you hit done, then you add as many more as you need. I'll just leave it on all pages. And then the schedule, especially if you're thinking of something for end of year, that would be a perfect time to set a schedule. But like if you're using it for that to remind them to donate or join, or to have them subscribe to your emails, I would suggest leaving that, schedule off. And then the triggers, even further specifying when it should show up, how long it should show up. Should it show up when they've scrolled down the page a bit, or when they scroll to view a specific element on the page on after clicking a specific something on your page, a specific element, or when they're looking to close the page. Maybe it's like a, wait, did you see this? Um, and then you can get down even further uh, in the customizations with Google Analytics. I think you just have to, oh no, I haven't gone through this, so I'm not sure. I would imagine there's going to be some point where you have to connect your Google Analytics to it, probably just by adding your Google Analytics tracking code. But yeah, that is probably more than you would need if you're looking for a simple pop-up. So now that we have all those settings in place, I am going to just leave it with the layout on the bottom so we can see what that looks like. So now I go ahead and hit publish in the top right corner. And then typically if this were a brand new account, it would usually take me back to, or it show me the code immediately. But since it didn't, let's go to pop-up. I just clicked in the top right corner and then install. And sorry, I clicked on the top left corner when I clicked on the little pop-up icon. So we copy that code. And now let me go back to one of my MyLO sites. Let's just use test website. All right. And then in a new draft of your home page, I think I put it in the sidebar actually. So sidebar content, um, I'm just going to isolate it in its own third-party embed code. There's nothing against if you switched the top paragraph box under sidebar content to full HTML and plugged it in there. That's totally fine as well. But I'm just adding a new third-party embed code box under sidebar embed code, and we'll replace the text that's there, whether paste it in plain or regular, it doesn't matter. And then there we go. They are nice enough to put a little note to remind us what's there. I should have titled it something. But there we go. Let's go ahead and publish this so we can test it out. And there we go. So again, there's that the little watermark. I feel like it's probably more obtrusive because of the style and the text that I have and the image is quite small. But if you use a different layout, let's actually do that. The cool thing about Elfsight is that if you make edits, as long as you click publish up in the top right corner, you don't have to change the code that you already installed. So the changes will be, visible
And
right away. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
so the changes are at the back end.
Correct. So let's actually just try a layout change. Let's go with the classic modal. So we publish, and then when we go back to MyLO, it does require us to refresh. There we go. And then say that you're not ready to have another pop-up. I just clicked in the top left corner to come back to my pop-up. You can just hide it from the website, if you're wanting to bring it back at another time. It does allow you to download responses in a CSV file. That's probably useful if you're like accepting email addresses. That's the difference where I don't think there's a connection, at least with the free plan. Like you cannot connect it directly to, you know, I don't know, whatever email system you use to send out your newsletter or whatever it may be. But if you download that spreadsheet, you should be able to easily upload them to whatever you use. So that is yeah, that's really it as far as setting up the pop-up with at least Elfsight. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there are other free options. The One of the things with Elfsight is that it does say that the free option limits it to 200 views, um, but it resets monthly. So if you are expecting higher traffic um, per month, then this might not be the option for you if you were looking to keep it free. Actually, let me see if I can remember. Believe there is another option. Any questions so far
You know if that says
setting that up?
200 per widget or 200 for all widgets?
Per widget. Yeah,
Per
good
widget.
question.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you need more than 200, then you could create two.
The only thing with
It has to be different, probably.
the free plan only allows one pop-up.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So if you decide to pay for a plan, and I can't remember what the payment plans are, but if you pay for one, then it doesn't limit your views anymore. And then you can create more than one widget. But this one, yeah, if you are sticking with the free plan, it's up to 200 views for that one widget that you have. Um, I know this isn't the same, but my YouTube gallery has the same thing. 200 views per month, and that's where I have the, search our videos for the MyLO documentation. We're at 18 now. I know it's not the same, as your league's content, but it gives you at least a little idea into um, that limit. I don't think I've ever seen the limit hit as far as what I'm using so far. And then with the demo pop-up, um, I can't tell you exactly when I set this up. I don't know if it tells me that, but it was earlier this month. It may have been maybe late last month, and I'm at about 73 views so far on my demo site. So let me see if I can pull up. Okay, so I do have another option, and forgive me before I get started because I am more familiar with the Elf site. This one I kind of stumble across because it was another free option, but I'm not super familiar with it. So Optimunk, let me drop that one in the chat as well. Actually, let me go to their front page. There we go. So they are another free option as well. This one does offer more flexibility than the Elf site. From what I've seen, there are no limits for the views. And then you can also create more than one, they call it campaigns. So let me, well, actually, yeah, let's create a campaign. Or would y'all like to see it from the start? Because there are setup steps before you get to, creating a new campaign. If Let me actually
Probably
do
should
that.
see from the start.
Yeah, let me sign out and I can use a different email. Okay. All right, so we create a new account and let me actually, well, yeah, the link that I dropped should get you there. I won't drop the specific login link. You'll have that. So sign up with your email. Let's fill out what I'll use. All right. And then password. I'll just use my previous one. Okay. Ask you a few questions. What website would you like to use? Or, what are we going to apply this pop-up to? So I'm coming back over to MyLO. I'm going to copy the address from the address bar. And this is a little extra step that we can ignore because I'm going to turn off this pop-up from Elf site. Let's just hide that. Okay. So since we're going to use this test website, I just want to make sure we don't have two competing pop-ups. So come back over. Where was I? This one. Okay. Let me close a couple windows. So which website would you like to optimize? Let's paste what I have. What's the name of this website? And I'm just putting the actual name with LWV. How did you hear about us? I think it was a Google search. Whatever you guys like to put. And then I think before I put other as well to best describe us, at least from this list that they provide. Um, I think you can skip this. I can't remember. Let's try. No, it is required. Okay, let's put that. Who are you optimizing this website for? Oh, it's asking about you personally. Um, so you could even just put a client since we're mostly either just staff or volunteers that are working on these. And then they just want to make sure that they're going to be contacting you if they want to email, but usually you can just unsubscribe. All right. So then now we can go ahead and get started um, with creating the first campaign. So same as Elf site, we get to choose, well, actually, a little bit different. This isn't just templates. These are themes. Um, you can customize the theme, I think, afterwards, even further. So, the colors that we're seeing here obviously aren't a, a match to our brand standards, but I think we can um, customize those after. So this is more about the the look, the design of it, not much about the colors. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Let's go with this one. Yay. So they do their best to try and pull the colors from the website that you entered. That's another kind of cool, different thing from Elf site to Optimonk. Um, because we provided our website URL, um, they are pulling what they can from the colors used on the website. So I know this one is correct. That blue is our league blue. I don't know if that red is our red. And then I know that the gold or the yellow is definitely not it. Um, it may be pulling one from MyLO, like the default theme of MyLO, but not the league colors that we put in MyLO. But let's go ahead and choose the blue. We'll use our branded version. And then I think you can also add it. It may not be part of your theme. Oh yeah, okay. So you can quick tune your brand settings. So this is to further customize your branded theme. Again, it pulled the logo from the website. Um, when it comes to image, let's see. It's only giving us limited options right now for the image, but again, we'll further be able to customize, upload if we need to. And then I think it has the same font options as before. Yep, we have Merriweather or Merriweather Sands. And actually, I think the other, not the Sans Merriweather, yeah, that one is the one on MyLO. And then Lotto. Okay, they may not have Lotto for the other option. Oh, there it is. Okay. Um, so I'll make the corner radius a little small there, and let's go next. This definitely isn't our final look, but that'll at least get us started. Okay, so now it's asking you kind of what are you going to use the pop-up for? I don't actually remember this step in my testing. Pop-up campaigns we recommend. Maybe it's for a newsletter sign up pop-up. Okay, so this is to help you set up the buttons or the elements that are going to be on your pop-up so that you don't have to do much adding and removing. Um, grow your email list. Um, okay, maybe you're offering them a download. The California League we will do that when during an election time when we have what we call the vote with the league, where we make our recommendations on the ballot measures. We will always put it behind a download form. So this is one way of doing that, especially if you want to promote that item. A giveaway, an announcement of something with a link to that item. Maybe you want some feedback. And then website optimization campaigns. These are probably getting a little further than just pop-ups. These are, it looks mostly A/B testing and product kind of pushing a product. So pop-ups up here are probably better suited for what we're trying to do. Let's keep it simple, and I'm going to go with newsletter sign up pop-up. And we can choose similar templates if we don't really like how that looks. Let's see what else they offer. Okay, so it might get us further from the colors, but we have a whole lot to choose from as we saw with Elf Site too. Okay, let's just go back. I'm going to go with what they offered with the newsletter sign up pop-up. So select. Quite a few more steps than Elf Site, but it's a lot more customizable. Um, okay, let's see. So there's technically four different looks here. It's with main page, it looks like that's exactly what we were looking for. With SMS, asking them for their phone number if you had an SMS text list. And then the thank you. Oh, I see. It's a sequence. Um, I don't know if I want all of this. So the first page, if they fill out their first name and email, when they hit continue, the idea is that then they'll be presented with this to finish signing up. Provide your phone number to join the list. Then once they finish that second step, they're in. And then if they click see new arrivals, that would, hopefully take them to whatever page you specify. And then we'd be left with a teaser so that if they wanted to see it again, they'd click it and it would open back up. So that's the idea. We can always remove some stuff. I think I will be doing that. And then since this is a newsletter sign up pop-up, they want to know what type of sign up are we collecting. I'm just going to go with email since I will get rid of that other page. Is this? Okay, maybe I don't want to build a list. It's not allowing me. Maybe it was taking a minute to think. I'm gonna try and close some other pages. My computer might be not allowing it to work as quickly as it should. There we go. Okay. It's always going to ask you what domain you're using. Since you probably only using it for MyLO, just go ahead and save that. And then you can go through their 2-minute tour. Um, let's actually do that. I'll quickly go over it. The theme settings, as we saw before, it pulls from your website, and then within the main colors and secondary colors, you can, actually add what's from the brand standard so that it's much easier for you to use in the future. The elements are the pieces, the blocks, the building blocks of your pop-up. So you even have the ability to customize the website overlay, so the background basically of your pop-up, and then every piece in between. And then the ability to create, to add more is a drag and drop. So if you want to add more elements like buttons or text or images, find them in the list and drop them in. And then the content in the middle, you can just click right in to start editing it. Um, Hey, Mary Jo. We are talking about a pop-up that's available through Optimunk. It's not a MyLO product, but it's a totally free pop-up, and the link to it is in the chat if you were interested in that for your website. So the template is where you can just click in to start changing directly. You can customize the elements like changing, I believe, yeah, you can change their font, their styling as far as being bold and all that. Heading styles if you wanted it to be. Um, I would always recommend that the top of your pop-up be some heading style. Um, whether it's two, three, four, whatever, but it should have a bold heading at the top. The pages, like we were seeing, uh, there's a main page, a thank you, and a teaser. You can remove them, you can reorder them, um, and then the teaser stays in the corner. Yeah, I think my computer's acting a little slow. So we saw the teaser is there in case folks want to see it again. It will grab their attention after they've already seen the pop-up. And then you can customize the teaser if you want it to show up or not, or when it should show up. And then in our preview, we can see what it's going to look like on desktop, what it's going to look like on mobile. And then a preview, I think it will try and take you to MyLO to show you. I don't know how well that actually works for MyLO though. And then lastly, it's showing the mobile view for us real quick. Okay, so kind of a quick run through of their little tutorial. But again, that's offered if you are just starting your Optimunk account. So that's super helpful. Um, let's let's start with the pages actually. Before I actually get into editing the pop-up, um, my computer was acting slow. So when I did try and remove that or the I think it was asking for a phone number after the main page. It did end up removing it, so great. But I do want to just remove the thank you page. You definitely can keep that, especially if you are trying to collect email and then send them somewhere else. The thank you page is your perfect opportunity to do that. But I am just trying to collect emails and I'll move on. So again, for this one, I'm going to disable the teaser. So I clicked on the three dots for each of those. And we'll just go with one simple pop-up so that once they close it, they don't have to see anything else. All right, so now on to um, making this a newsletter sign up. Join our newsletter. And being that this is a heading 2 style, I think that's why it's in caps. Maybe all the headings look like they're in capital letters. Um, this text box, since again, I'm trying to just collect emails, I don't think I need to further explain what I have. So I just deleted that. Let me actually hit Control Z to undo, show one more time. So when you click on any of these elements, you should have these options. Maybe not the same options for every single one, but you should at least have the little trash can option to delete. So we delete that. Um, with the first name field, let's see, I think it probably is best to have them separate, first name and last name. I was going to suggest changing the placeholder text here to full, but if you're trying to use the data that's entered here as, variables for your newsletter, it's probably best to keep them separate if you wanted to have, the dear line to be, you know, Amaris instead of Dear Amaris LeBron. Keeping that separate would be best. So let's actually just keep it separate and we can duplicate. So this should duplicate it right in the, yeah, right in the pop-up. And it actually is smart and changed it for me. Since it detected I was duplicating a name field, it went ahead and updated that from first to last. So we have first name, last name, and email. And then some of the options available, we can make sure that it's required so that they're reminded, hey, you didn't fill out this before they continue. The font family is inherited, I believe, from maybe we put that in the theme options. Maybe it was inherited from, um, actually, yeah, I think that was the theme options that we worked on. Um, and then if you wanted to see the fields in different dimensions, if you wanted them to be shorter, taller, wider, thinner, and you can also change the colors. Within advanced, yeah, that might be, well, you can, if you wanted to get, real technical, you can block existing subscribers. I think that probably requires you to feed a spreadsheet of your existing subscribers. And then if we wanted to hide it for either type of devices, desktop or mobile. All right, next one is the button. First, let's just change the text there. Um, with the button, let's see what actually were the options. Okay, so if you wanted the button to send them somewhere else, you could use a redirect. I'm not sure what call is and jump to. Um, I'm not really sure either. But close will obviously be just like if they hit the X button, but it will take their submission. If you were looking to actually track the conversions on this campaign, um, then you would, keep that default setting on because it's allowing you to count um, the submission. So it's not about the X, it's about the actual button. And if they fill out the form, that's the only way they can actually successfully click that submit button. Um, the background hover, I wanted to change that color, but before I do that, let me actually go over to the theme because again, we have the colors. And again, we said this might be a little bit off, but you can go back. I closed the brand standards page, but you can go back to the brand standards from the National League, plug in the colors here, um, and then you'll be able to use them whenever. Let's see, I think I remember one. Whoops. I'm not sure what is happening. There we go. Okay, that's the gold. Um, okay, secondary colors is where you'd want to fill that in. And it does look a little wild now. Let's see. Huh. Sorry, I thought it was actually making my changes to the website colors. It might not be from this view. Okay, so when you click on theme while we're editing a campaign, it doesn't allow me to actually make those changes stick to the theme. It's just from the theme, what can I add to the pop-up? So that's okay. I'll work on the theme in a second, but I think the pop-up is ready to go. Let's actually change the image as well. Let me get rid of that element there, the little stars. I'm not sure what it was, but the image, that's what I wanted to go over. So we can click, I clicked on the image and it pops up this little window here, and we can upload our own image. That's the difference with Elfsight. I don't think that you can use a URL. Yeah, you do actually have to upload. So let's just put one in there. They do offer some, already existing images, and I think the logos, yeah, they're coming from your website. So that's pretty helpful to have that one already. Here we've got our newly uploaded image, and that'll work for our example. Okay, we have our image set. Let's take a look. Oh, I'm not sure why the image is not saving across both. Let's double check here. It's not hidden on mobile. Or let's see. Okay, let's just do that. I'm gonna hide it. I'm not sure why it didn't, you know, go across both, but let's go next so that we can, okay, next shows us the mobile again. The teaser is off as we want. Next again. All right, and then it's just confirming again the teaser is off on mobile. So we save and exit. All right, now it's asking you when should it show up? On exit intent is when a visitor is about to leave your site. I'm not sure exactly how that works, um, but it is one way of triggering the pop-up. I typically see pop-ups happen closer to the start of someone's session on a website. So we'll leave it on both devices and let's just have it appear after 5 seconds and save. And actually, yeah, we have to X out of this one. I I can leave it on both. Why don't we do that? Typically, I would have removed on exit intent, but just for the test, let's go ahead and leave both. You can add more triggers, but obviously, the more triggers you have, it may interfere with its display. How many times can this campaign appear? You usually want to limit that. Um, And this is about how many times do you want it to appear? Well, let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be um, to a specific visitor. So unlimited times is usually not recommended, maximum times. And I believe this is within the same session. So say that I get to your homepage, I close it out. I stay on your homepage for quite a while, so I'm not seeing the pop-up again, but I go to, read voting information and then I see the pop-up again. If I then close it a second time, I go visit your donate page, um, then I won't see it after that. I would usually say one time, It's up to you. It's really dependent on how you want to do that. And then the cool thing is if you have it more than once, they do ask how frequently can this campaign appear again for that visitor who's closed it. So the example I just described would have been as soon as possible. The moment they change to another page, then they get shown it again. Or you can limit it. Um, and then between two impressions just means when should it show up again for them. So if they stay on your site an hour longer, then they should see it again if they're traveling to another page. And yeah, you can get down to the seconds. And then lastly, when should the campaign stop showing for the visitors? I think that makes sense after a visitor has converted in this campaign. So the conversion being that they actually entered their first, last name and email and hit the submit button. You can also make it so that if they've already exited out of it, then they don't see it again. But we'll leave it with what they defaulted to, and we'll go to targeting. Um, I haven't messed around with this one as much. Yeah, new visitors, returning visitors. I'm not sure. Um, with this specific example, again, it being we want them to subscribe to our list, non-subscribers make sense. Um, but there isn't, you know, I'm not sure how specific they get, like if they are um, using cookies or something to track who has already submitted it, unless there's a spreadsheet that they're requiring you to add for who's already subscribed. I'm not sure. Um, but we can proceed with the subscribers, non-subscribers here as the option. If you were going with another type of pop-up, I would have chosen either new visitors, returning visitors, something like that. So it will exclude, let's see who gets to see pop-ups. It will exclude page visitors. I'm not sure what this is. URL of the excluded site contains subscribed. This may be if they've already subscribed, but that's what we have up here. Maybe can I not have a limitation? Let's try that. There we go. I think it's okay if folks who've already subscribed see the pop-up, so I won't actually put any limitations on who gets to see it. All right, and then the last is where you would like to send the subscribers and campaign data. Um, I I think it's something we set up after if you are trying to actually collect this data on your specific Google Analytics account. So we go next to campaign summary. All right, I don't remember all these steps before. Okay, user experience protector. Um, okay, I think this is more about responding to if the visitor's browser has, pop-up protectors on, how are we helping to respond to that? So I would usually just go with what they recommend. So that means that some folks who may have stronger um, settings on their browser or on their computer, they may not see the pop-up, but that's okay. If you did want to go with that smart protection off, you can do that as well, since you know your pop-up is not going to be spam or anything. All right. And then lastly, we need to, same as with Elf site, we have only one code that we need to install, and we only need to install it once. So I can insert the JavaScript code is what we click on, and then we copy. Going back over to the test website, I'm going to plug it in the same space that I plugged in the other one. So coming back down to our sidebar content, I'm just going to separate them by a little bit of space, but plug it in right underneath. You can add another box for it if you want to keep things clean and separate. But as long as you're not breaking up existing HTML, then it should do its thing. Fingers crossed that it's going to pop up. Nope, we're not seeing it. Let's check now. It does offer you uh, an option to check. Okay, let's try that again. Sidebar content. Let's actually separate it, see if that makes any difference. Nope, it is not responding. Let's try refreshing the page. Okay, sidebar content and add third-party embed code. It is not responding to me. So let me try putting it up here. So full HTML and plug that in and publish. No, it is not popping up. It was much easier in the initial testing, I will say that. So I'm not sure what the issue is. Let's try again. And maybe let's try adding it to the body area instead of the sidebar. See if that makes any difference. So down here, let's see if we can add it under the body with embed code instead of sidebar embed code. Remove that. Okay. And in my testing, I didn't have Elf site and Optimonk both on the same site. So I wonder if they're challenging each other. 'Cause it did not come up. Okay. Last ditch effort. This has gotta work. Whoops. And publish that again. I am not sure why it's not coming up. Let's see if maybe going to another page does anything. Okay. So, huh. Sorry, folks. I thought that was going to be a lot easier than it's coming out to be. Let's let me try signing into the other account I had, and maybe I can show the one I set up during test. And sorry, I know we're going a little over, but I don't want to leave you without a completed something here with this Optimonk pop-up. Okay, let's try and find which website I used for this. Oh no, it won't show me. Oh darn. Insert code. No. Um, if I can go to one of the other demo sites that it might still be on. I do have an active one. I just can't remember which demo site. Oh man, I am so sorry. I knew that the elf site one would be much easier, and like I said, I was more familiar with it. Um, but I thought at least with Optimunk we would at least, see it come up. So I'm sorry that I'm not seeing what the issue is. It may be an issue of I didn't set who should see it. Maybe that is actually a required piece. And with this campaign in my other account, okay, what I ended up doing, who should see the pop-up? I went with country. Um, Probably still a little limiting, because that doesn't, just because, you know, we're based in the US doesn't mean that we don't have voters who are outside of the US. Um, but with the other limitations or, segments that we were seeing, it was a little bit more limiting than this. Um, so I think that was probably the difference. So let's see if maybe because this one's already set up, can I ins insert this code into the site? Let's actually work with this one now. The sample basic site will be what we use here. So custom website. And then as we saw before, I can insert the JavaScript code and copy. So body with embed code, I'm going to use one that's already here. Let's try that in the body. Make sure I don't have already something from before. Nope. Okay. Fingers crossed.
Huh.
No, it just really does not want to work for me today. I'm sorry about that, folks. I will take a further look into this because I know um, some leagues might be interested in having
Yeah.
pop-ups, especially at this time of the year. Um, and I know that this Optimunk can be a powerful, helpful tool, especially being free. Um, so yeah, I will do some more work on this. And once I can figure it out, then I can make a separate video. So again, I apologize. We spent a lot of time on that, and I was hoping for a successful end, but apparently not.
So, Maurice, did somebody ask you about that, or just something you just discovered, or what?
There was a question about pop-ups. It was the Greater Los Angeles League, wondering about the pop-up options that were available to MyLO. And so I let her know that there wasn't anything built in.
Okay.
But yeah, there are those third-party options. I think that league is currently, or at least at the time that the question was asked, they had a pop-up on their website, but it was from Constant Contact.
Oh,
So that's an option. If folks already use Constant Contact, there should be a pop-up option within that. Let,
what do you mean within?
within Constant Contact. Let me travel to
Because
their
I mean,
site.
we use it for our newsletter.
Yeah, we do too.
So,
Yeah, so let's see if they still have it up. It was basically the same pop-up that I was trying to create to collect their email. Do they still have it up? The page is still loading. So there we go. Sign up for updates is what they have for their
oh,
constant contact pop-up. But I think Mary Jo, your league has that in the sidebar, maybe?
well, that if you want to sign up for the newsletter,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
which I guess that's what this is. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't do anything fancy. Yeah, and then I think when you click newsletter, um, I'm not sure how that works, but somehow, you get to the page where the newest newsletter is. And there's probably maybe, well, I was gonna say there's probably another, well, there's probably another chance to sign up
Mhm.
to get it regularly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to be able to subscribe, right, to the
To
newsletter.
subscribe, yeah, because somebody might be just looking at our website and say, "Oh, newsletter," and then they look at it and say, "Oh, I'd like to sign up for that." So it must be on that same page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Thank
smart
you.
to do it.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you have constant contact, that would be, an easier way to set up, especially if you're trying to just collect subscriptions. Um, but yeah, like I said, I will figure out what the heck I missed on the Optimunk, because it seemed rather easy when I was first setting it up when I got the question about pop-ups in MyLO. But now it definitely was not as straightforward. So I will look into that. Um, I may even actually have a video that I provided to that person who asked the question. I can't recall. Um, but yeah, I will put that as my priority homework. Um, and then while we're still on, I know we're again a little bit over, but did anybody have any questions at all? Or something that maybe they wanted to see for the next session? We won't be gathering for in 2 weeks since that will be Christmas, but our next session after that will be the 8th. So if there's anything that's been percolating, maybe maybe you're not yet ready to implement it into your website, but you've heard about it and you want to just see what it's about, how is it done? Is it really as difficult as you might have, originally thought? Yeah, anything.
We've been trying to work on a calendar, and you have other videos on this subject, but I can't seem to get past it all. So maybe I'll send a note to you offline for this.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, that's something that we can always do offline. If it ends up being that by the next session it's something you're still working on, then we can plan for that for the next session too.
Okay,
Both. We could do everything if you wanted to get started now, if it's still a project at that time. Yeah.
good.
Hey, Maurice, can you
Hmm.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I tried to talk a few times earlier and I was having trouble with my microphone and I wasn't sure if I fixed it.
Oh, gotcha. No, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. I don't have a question, so I guess I'll see you in a month or so.
Yes, in a month. We'll see each other now then on the 8th. But before then, for sure in the Google group.
Yeah,
Happy
we can always
holidays.
contact you. Yeah,
Yes, you know where to reach me.
exactly.
Happy holidays, everybody.